Hello and welcome. This is my first time here, but you all have a wonderful setup, so I'm very excited. I'm very excited for playing here today. I will give kind of a general idea, but I will let Sophia discuss and talk about the pieces that we're playing together, and I will mostly kind of talk about the list. But the program in general, let me know if I need to speak either slower or louder. I am a teacher, but I'm also somewhat tired, so I might be kind of deflated. But here we are. So I will start our program today with Liszt, a Romantic composer. I think his dates are 1811 till 1886 or 1887. He lived a pretty long life, and the music that you will hear from him is a little bit in the later part of his life. After that, Sophia will play a bit of Bach, which is the one little Baroque composer that we attach here, but after that, it's mostly staying with the Romantic stuff. And so after that, we'll play some Popper, some Fauré, some Strauss, and some Saint-Saëns. Yes. So I will tell you a little bit then about the list. So the music by Liszt that I will be playing today is called Years of Pilgrimage. Liszt was at the beginning of his life quite a prodigy, and he got to kind of travel a lot and tour a lot as a pianist. He sort of decided to perform a lot less after he was 40. He was one of those people that incredibly talented. Everyone wanted to see him as a prodigy, and really lasted for quite a while. And after that, he got to have a whole second life where he was more of a composer than anything else, composer and conducting too. He was hugely influential, so I think it is safe to say that if it wasn't for Liszt, there would be no Russian school of playing. If it wasn't for Liszt, there would be no Impressionism. He kind of tinkered a little bit with like the more modern stuff that then gives rise to what composers in the 20th century do. And so Liszt is a very, very important character, very important composer in music history, and particularly for the piano. And so the music that I will be playing today is the Years of Pilgrimage. 4 of them. There is 2 books. There is probably like, let's say 7 or 8 in the first, 7 or 8 in the second, and then I don't believe there's a third book, but there's a supplement book, which is the same as a third book. And so there's another 5, 6 pieces. These ones are from the first book, and so the first one is the Chapel of Guillaume Tell. If I'm correct, this place doesn't really exist, but it's a place that he imagines, and he adds the quote at the beginning of the piece. It says, one for all, everyone for one. I know how to say that saying in Spanish, because I grew up speaking Spanish, so I don't know how you say it in English, but basically it is about, I would say, altruism and about courage and about standing up for the small guy. And so there is a lot of grandeur in this music, a lot of, I would say, positive spirit. It's not about piece of music to like start your day with. Very powerful. After that, the next 2 pieces, The Lake of Wallenstadt and Pastorale, are more of his impressionist side. Impressionism is you know, very well known for like kind of sounds of water and like runny little things that sound like very placid and luminous. And so does the next 2 pieces of Liszt. One evokes a lake, and the other one evokes being on the pastoral side. So, you know, sheep, no storm, no problems whatsoever. Life is peachy. And then the last piece that I will be playing is The Thinker, and The Thinker is just very sad. It's supposed to reflect on the Michelangelo sculpture, and you know, he's not thinking about happy stuff. It's very much a funeral march of sorts, but again, as I said before, he definitely has some explorations of sound and color that would have made people before very confused. It's a very explorative in terms of the color of the music. And so that's what I will play for Liszt. As I said before, I will let Sophia kind of explain the rest. And so I will move to play now.
Hello. Good evening. My name is Sophia Alvini-Moore. I am so excited that you are all here tonight. Thank you so much for coming. This recital is very special to me because the second half of the program, the duets will play together. I actually just played 10 days ago, exactly, on my junior recital. I am studying cello performance at the Shenandoah Conservatory in Winchester, Virginia, but I'm from Delaware. I live in Middletown. I went to Cab Calloway for high school. I got to study with Dr. Stomberg, who's in the audience. Hello. So this is home, and I'm so excited to be back on this stage. I haven't been on this stage in 4.5 years. But the last time I was on this stage, I was playing bluegrass music with Mr. Stephen Field, who's also in the audience. Thank you for coming. I'm so excited to play here tonight for my family and for all of you. The next two pieces on the program are two movements from the third Bach suite in C major. This suite is very joyous and, again, kind of resonates more with the second and third movements that Dr. Espejo just played. Nothing's wrong. Everything's going perfectly in life. And this is just music for happiness. This music was written far earlier than anything else you'll hear on the program tonight. Bach died in 1750, and the last duets were written between 1873 and 1893. So we're going to do a huge time jump between these two movements and the final four pieces. These movements are the Allemande, which is the second movement of the suite, and the Gigue, which is the final movement. Each suite has 6 movements, and there are 6 suites. Kind of nice to remember it that way. But I'll be playing the second and the third, second and the sixth. There we go. The first of the 4 duets we'll play together was written by David Popper. David Popper was a cellist and an educator and also a composer. So because he played the cello, he definitely knew how to write for it very well. And this piece is no exception. This piece is what is known as a showpiece. So it's meant for the cello to really show everything that it's capable of. So sometimes it sounds a little crazy, sometimes it sounds really like it's trying to sing to you. There are lots of emotions that he manages to express in this piece. It's based on a collection of Romani folk tunes. This piece is very well played. It's very commonly played. It's really gorgeous. And it's meant to teach performers kind of how to show off on their instrument. That's a whole new section of music. So it's really fun to get to explore how does a composer write for an instrument when they want you to show off and kind of be the center of attention. So this is Popper, Hungarian Rhapsody. Thank you. The next piece was written by Fauré. It was originally supposed to be the second movement of a cello and piano sonata that he was going to write, but never finished. And considering he wrote second movement first, and well, that was done, he released it 3 years later and said, okay, I guess this can be a piece by itself. Under the title of an Élegié, this piece is about loss and the emotions that accompany that. This piece is special to me because it is dedicated to my grandmother, who I called my nonna. Her name is Johann Alvini. She's very special to me. She loved music. All you had to do was walk into her house and follow wherever the music was coming from, and you'd find her every time, without fail. Typically, she'd be cooking. She taught me you always feed people. She was Italian, as you can imagine. We always feed people, and we love music. So I carry on her love of music through my playing today. This is Élegié by Fauré. now to go to a piece about loss, to the opposite side of that coin, which is love. Those two emotions are so interconnected, sometimes it's hard to separate them. The next piece was written by Strauss when he was only 19. So what does love mean at 19? I'm 20 years old, so I think I've got some insight. Young people, we are very intense most of the time. Love means a lot. And older people tell us to slow down and that life will happen, it's gonna be okay, tomorrow will come. But love at 19 means a lot. And this piece really captures that. It opens with a really gorgeous lyrical melody that's kind of like falling in love for the first time. It's all the great parts. And then there's a really rhythmically active and intense section, because sometimes love is hard, oftentimes it is. And it goes back and forth between just this gorgeous melody and this really intense section. And I think that really captures how young people interact with love. It almost as if we live as if every day could be the last, which is ironic. And every note in this piece could be the last. It captures that level of care and level of almost panic that sometimes young people have. So I hope you enjoy Strauss Romanze. one more piece on the program, and it was written by Camille Saint-Saëns. He wrote a lot for cello. He gave us 2 cello concertos, one of which is very important in cello literature, and the other of which is a lot harder and is not played as much. Well, people argue about which one is harder, but the second one's not played as much. He is really good at balancing the cello with whatever else he's writing it with. I think he liked the cello. It's my hunch, because he writes really well for it. This piece is Allegro Appassionato. It's another piece with a lot of feelings. It goes back and forth between a very rhythmically intense opening, you'll hear it, and then the next phrase is very lyrical. And he goes back with these contrasting ideas all over the cello. This is lots of fun to play. And he compacts this all into 4 minutes. So it is a race to the end with this last piece, Allegro Appassionato. want to say thank you one more time, all of you, for being here, my past mentors, teachers, my family, so many of you. It brings me so much joy to get to share this music. Otherwise, I just spend hours practicing and no one gets to hear it. So being here and getting to share it with people makes it real. Otherwise, what are we doing in life? We have to share things with people. So thank you so much all for coming. I'm so happy that this evening we got to share together.